There is nothing like a fresh batch of salsa, especially with so many taco recipes on this channel. And to make it ultra convenient to have salsa on hand, today I'm gonna show you how easy it is to can salsa so you can enjoy it year-round. I'm using a recipe from my friends at Ball, our partners for today's canning video, which have been around for 135 years. The recipe by Ball Home Canning brand is going to make you want to keep tortilla chips on hand year-round. I don't know about you guys, but we use salsa all the time for tacos, burrito bowls, salads, pretty much everything. And nothing beats the taste of fresh homemade salsa, but making a batch from scratch isn't always as convenient as having it in your pantry. So I'm gonna preheat my oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. On this baking sheet, I have my tomatoes, which I'm going to roast so they peel easily. You'll see. Whenever you wanna make homemade salsa with all the tomatoes in your garden or during warm weather months when they are deliciously ripe and abundant, you'll have to peel them. And roasting them, my friend, is, in my opinion, the easiest way to get the job done with the least amount of effort. Now that the tomatoes are ready, they're gonna go in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes until the tomatoes are slightly charred and the skins peel back. While those roast, we're gonna prep these jars, which, by the way, I picked them up at my local Target and they had all sorts of deals on them, which is why I use Ball jars for all things like drinking water, pantry storage for bulk items like beans, cocoa, chia seeds, and of course, canning. Here I have a canner filled with water that I've brought to a simmer. A canner is simply a large pot big enough to fill with water and the jars. These jars are clean and ready to go since I washed them with the lids in warm soapy water and set the bands aside. All you have to do is place each empty jar into the water and let them sit in there until you are ready to fill them. Make sure the water is not boiling at this time. A little heat is all we need. The tomatoes are perfectly roasted, so I'm gonna let them cool down to room temperature to make them easier to peel. Now, there's a lot of chopping whenever homemade salsa is involved, but to save a little time, I got a head start on chopping the garlic and the green onions. To control the amount of heat in this recipe, you'll want to decide whether or not you want to keep the jalapeno seeds inside. So all you have to do is slice them in half and with a spoon, scrape out the seeds. Okay, let's move on to the tomatoes. To remove the skin, all you need to do is peel back the thin outer layer and discard. I'm just gonna repeat the process with all my tomatoes here. So I'm gonna half the tomatoes right here on my cutting board, and then with a spoon, I'm going to scoop out the seeds. This helps to keep the salsa from becoming watery. First, I'm gonna put the tomatoes in this sauce pot, but I'm gonna give them a quick coarse chop. Then jalapenos, the green onions, garlic, vinegar, lime juice, a little hot sauce, cilantro, and salt. We're gonna give it a quick stir and let it simmer for 15 minutes over medium-high heat. Meanwhile, I'm gonna give this place a quick cleanup and meet you back here. Oh man, I wish you could smell this place. The salsa is finished and we're ready to fill the jars. Let's remove one jar using a lifter and place it on a towel or wooden cutting board. I'm gonna fill the jar and remove any bubbles by gently tapping against the towel or wooden cutting board. Now we check for ½ an inch of headspace. With a clean cloth, I'm gonna wipe the rim and the top of our lid. Apply the band and seal until fingertip tight. By the way, canned goods make awesome gifts, so if you're growing tomatoes and have abundance of them from your garden, make salsa and gift the salsa, not just the tomatoes. Now that all my jars are filled with our salsa, I'm going to place the filled jars back into the canner. Now, if you look here, I have a rack at the bottom and the water is covering the jars by 1 to 2 inches. As you can see, the process is really simple. All you have to do now is bring the water in the canner to a boil and then begin the 15-minute processing time. This will seal the jars and keep everything fresh inside and ready to be devoured at future taco nights. Now that the jars are ready, we simply remove them from the counter and let them cool down on a dish towel for 12 to 24 hours before checking the seal. Be sure to wipe down your jars and remove any food particles to safeguard against mold. Now that we're done with all the work, there is one last step, the flex test. This is to ensure that everything's sealed properly and our salsa is ready for storing. To test it, we remove the band, press down on the center, and since it doesn't lift, this jar is sealed properly. Everything inside is nice and preserved tight, so I can stow them away for future taco nights. Fresh, tasting, delicious, and like you saw in the video with ball canning jars, this is a super easy recipe you can make for years to come. The recipe by Ball Home Canning and directions are right below this video, and hang tight because I'm going to show you a couple of videos you can use this fantastic salsa for taco nights to come.